to another InventRight.com TV show. We have inventor-friendly patent attorney Damon Kali on the line. Damon, how you doing, man?
Doing great, Andrew. Thanks for having me.
Good. Let's jump right in. How to find a patent attorney that's right for you. Damon, you've been a patent attorney for a long time. I know you used to work in a firm. You didn't like it. You went out with your own practice. I've heard you give lectures on this topic, and so I thought we could have you come on to the YouTube show. How can inventors screen and find a patent attorney that is right for them?
Well, I think the most important thing is, do you have any rapport with the attorney? So, you call up, I think you should call up several attorneys and talk to them about your project and see, hey, are they explaining things clearly and carefully? Are they taking the time necessary for me to understand? Are they interested, or do they appear interested in what I'm doing? Do they have the sufficient expertise to take care of my project? And I think by starting with those kinds of questions and just sort of trusting your instincts and trusting how you feel about this person, because ultimately we're people. You're working with a person and you're going to work with them for quite a long time. On the average, it takes 3 to 5 years to get a patent through the examination process. So you're going to be having quite a few conversations with this person, and it's a very expensive process. So you want to make sure you get the right person. So I'd say the first thing is have a conversation with them and see how it feels. And if you have some rapport and you can develop some rapport quickly, that's always a good sign, as opposed to somebody you think, wow, he may be really smart or she may be really smart, but we're not communicating for some reason.
So do you think that some patent attorneys, or they kind of puff up their chest and stuff, and that's their way of doing it? And would you recommend not going with one of those? Because the average inventor would prefer somebody that's a little bit more user-friendly.
Well, so you have to sort of understand the characteristic of a patent attorney. There's an old joke that says, how do you tell an introverted patent attorney from an extroverted patent attorney? And the answer is the extroverted patent attorney looks at your shoes. So you're dealing with, with people who are generally very technically minded and generally are not the most extroverted people. So it may take a little, what may look like bravado to somebody may be just, reticence to communicate to somebody else. So again, if you can develop a little bit of rapport, that's the start of everything. Somebody may, obviously somebody's going to want to say, a patent attorney will want to say, hey, I'm really good at what I do. I want to assure you that you're going to be in good hands. That kind of thing is okay. But, sort of trumpeting out loud, that may be a bit of a red flag for you.
Yeah, because all patent attorneys need to have a degree in some scientific or engineering area to become a patent attorney, don't they?
Yeah, they not only have to do that, you have to make it through law school, and then you have to take the bar for law to be a lawyer, and then you have to take a bar to be a patent attorney. So there are several hurdles to do that not everybody qualifies for. And again, typically technical people, highly technical people, are generally they're very thoughtful, but they're very sort of inside themselves. They have a rich inner life, and they think through problems very carefully, and that's a typical patent attorney. I recall going to a conference of patent attorneys. I go fairly often to fulfill my CLE requirements, and I was in this entire room with filled with patent attorneys, and nobody was looking at each other. Nobody was making eye contact. And as soon as the lecture was over, everybody got up and filed out quietly, which is so unlike litigating attorneys. I've been to those as well, and they start networking the minute you walk in the door, and they're shaking hands and they're talking and they're posturing, and it's a very different kind of experience.
Well, I think that is one of the best tips I ever heard, Damon. So when your patent attorney doesn't feel super social, or not friendly, but just not like your buddy, I mean, you just have to realize who they are and the way they see the world. And that's one of the best tips I've ever heard in working with your patent attorney. That's great. Now, that's not you. You're a very personable guy, and you like to have fun, and you do kite surfing, and you do all this stuff. I wouldn't say you're a typical patent attorney.
Well, I came to it a little bit late in life. So I went to law school in my mid-30s. So it was a little bit, I was out there doing engineering and process design for a long time. So I'm a little bit different than the average attorney that kind of goes straight through school and ends up in law school.
So before we wrap up this topic, can you talk about the initial interview? Any red flags you should look for when you're interviewing a patent attorney? I know one of the things you talk about is whether they charge or not for an initial interview. I don't know if you still feel the same way about that. What are your thoughts there, and any other red flags?
I understand why attorneys charge for the initial interview, because they get a lot of interviews and it takes a lot of time. I've never believed in that. I like to talk to somebody, get a feel for who they are before we start a regular relationship. So I personally think that if you get overcharged for initial interview, or if they don't tell you about it up front, that may be a red flag. Another red flag is if an attorney is trying to scare you into getting your patent right away. If they say, oh, without hearing your story, they say, if you don't get your patent rights now, you're going to lose it forever. I hear that a lot, and it just isn't always appropriate to file an application soon. It isn't always appropriate to file one at all. And so what I like to do is hear what you have first, so I can understand your problem, and then I can help better advise you to what it is you're doing.
Yeah, I've always said that the average patent attorney is a terrible salesperson, but selling fear is the easiest thing in the world. So even a patent attorney can sell fear successfully.
Yeah, it's true.
It's kind of unfortunate, but there's some of that. So yeah, I don't like that either. So, but most patent attorneys are good people, but they're just people in general. There's always going to be a percentage of people in any category that they don't do it quite the most ethical way, So, anything else you want to cover? Any other red flags or any other advice with hiring a patent attorney? I think we covered it pretty well.
Well, I think one last thing is really, if you're going to get a patent, look for either a boutique firm or a medium-sized firm if you're a sole inventor or a sole patent attorney, because you really want to. I think you want to stay away from the huge firms. The huge firms are really good for litigation. They're really good for enforcement. They're really good for big companies who have a broad patent portfolio. But they're really bad for small people because they generally have minimum billing requirements, and it's generally just too expensive for a smaller guy to go to a big firm. So I would tend to avoid the big firms if you're a sole inventor, and try to find somebody who, in a boutique or a smaller firm or sole practitioner, who has expertise in your field. Finding that they have expertise in your field is critical to getting a broad patent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're going to charge you the same corporate rates, but you haven't filed 20 patents with them, so they won't give you the same attention.
Right.
A large firm, and that's not good. But there are cases where it might make sense for an independent inventor if you pretty much expect there's going to be litigation because of the nature of the industry or the product. But I would say 99% of the time, an independent product developer should be going with a very small boutique firm, as Damon put it, or an independent practitioner.
Yep.
It's just going to make more sense. Yeah. All right, David, thank you so much, man. It's great. You got a new office out there in Portola Valley?
Yeah, we're not in Portola Valley. We're in Portola, California. It's about 40 minutes out of Lake Tahoe. So
okay,
we're in the mountains for now.
Cool. Nice. Beautiful. Thank you, Damon. Thank you so much. I want to remind everybody to take care, keep inventing, and we'll check you out. You'll check us out. Somebody will check somebody out on the next InventRight.com TV show. See ya. Bye.
Hi, this is Stephen Key, and I just want to thank you for watching InventRight TV. We're here to save you time, save you money, and show you how you can bring your products to market through licensing. So please subscribe down below, click on the button, and tell your friends. Thank you.